Hello, my name is Alex Kapranos, and I sing and play guitar for Franz Ferdinand.
Franz Ferdinand?
I've heard of them.
That's a good band. Alright, Alex, you got a new album coming out. It's, is it out in January?
I think it's the 27th of January it's going to come out in North America, 26th in the UK. There's a new sound, you know. It was quite important for us on this record to evolve and come up with something new. It's obviously like the same four guys making the music, but for me as a fan of other bands and other musicians, I always liked it when they went through stages and came up with new ideas, and like whether you're talking about Madonna and the difference between Holiday and Vogue, or you're talking about the Beatles, the difference between I Want to Hold Your Hand and the White Album, or Bowie, the difference between the early 70s and late 70s. It's good when you have somebody who's recognisably them, but with a new set of ideas. And so this album wasn't recorded as quickly as it could have been, because we had to let that sound evolve, and that meant going and playing and trying different ideas and playing small shows until it kind of came together. It took about a year and a half to bring it together. I always loved the story of Ulysses when I was a kid, and so like the essence of that story is it's a guy who is lost. He's lost at sea for 10 years, and instead of crying about being lost, he embraces it as an adventure and saying, I'm lost, it's wonderful, like, what's going to happen next now that I'm lost? And that's kind of maybe the attitude of the album, or the sort of the ethos of the album. It's being lost and loving being lost. I thought it was about being too
So, do you guys get sick of doing this?
What, interviews? I mean, eventually, yeah. Fortunately, we've not done that many of them so far this year, so you get us pretty fresh. What do you think, Paul?
I'd say we've probably done about 70 so far this year, so it's not too many.
Yeah. Well, when it gets to 700, then we're kind of like, yeah.
Well, I guess, people stop giving a crap.
Yeah, that's going to be bad, I know.
That's what you have to tell yourself, really. These people want to talk to you, Count yourself lucky.
It's also good at the moment because, we do have something to talk about. We've got a new record and a new sound and new songs, and here we are touring again. It's great. When I don't like doing interviews is, say, in the middle of that. So like a year ago, we were deliberately talking to the press as little as possible because there isn't a story. I mean, what's the point of talking? That's when it becomes hype and hot air, because there's nothing actually there to talk about. So, and that was a bit weird for us, because certainly in the UK and other places, people wanted a story from you. So whenever we did talk to the press, whatever we said got kind of blown out of proportion and became sort of a lot bigger than it.
Speaking, I find it quite frustrating when you get a phone interview and somebody talks about the album, you go, have you heard it? And they say, no, we're not allowed to, because of this sort of climate at the moment. There's only one watermark goes out to like one organisation, and you only get to listen to it around one stereo sort of thing, and then only so many sort of people get the opportunity to hear it as well. So yeah, it's just like, I've got to kind of explain this music, and they say, dancing about architecture and all that sort of stuff.
I really wanted to hear this record before this, but I was going to ask James, but I can't because it's not out yet.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, it is. It's finished. It's finished. It's all mixed. It's mastered. But I guess the label here, it must be paranoid that you're going to put it on the internet. I don't know.
Probably will.
Or worse, we play it on the radio and talk about it.
Oh, that'd be awful, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, that'd be. Usually, you can tell when a band's driven purely by commercial success when the music is formulaic. When it's right. Okay, we know exactly. It's almost like it was put together by a marketing board rather than by a group of artists or musicians,
I work country radio for a long time, and that's what it's about. It's about how many people you get at the shows, if you're the highest touring act of the year, how many records you're selling,
right.
And all of them.
Country music these days is just the most formulaic.
Well, yeah, because it's the only form of music that is not only happening in one town, coming in all from one town, it's coming from one street in that town.
Yeah.
All of it, like all other than the Canadian stuff, outside of the States. So,
right. There's some great country records, some old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was listening to some because I got some a friend of mine. I was sort of birthday, so I decided to buy some country records, and I just sort of did a little bit of digging and found some great stuff from, like Nashville, like a guy called Porter Wagoner.
Porter Wagner, yeah.
Which
Dolly
is-
Parton.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton, yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously Dolly Parton's is up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you listen to some of those Dolly Parton records, they are original as well. They seem to be kind of rejecting the strictness of the formula. You know, like a song like Jolene, it's incredible. It doesn't, that song would be amazing no matter what genre it was supposed to be in. It leaves the genre behind.
Yeah.
But the same can be said for some of our contemporaries, some of the British indie rockers. There's a formula that's followed there as well by certain bands too, and you have to give yourself a kick up the arse and say, right, okay, you know, I know that by bringing in the bar chords and the tambourine and the shout along chorus that we'll sell records here, but let's think of something different to do, you know.
We'd also end up killing ourselves as well if we ended up doing that, because we'd bore ourselves to death.
Yeah.
But I mean, as individuals, we choose don't really listen to that anyway, because and I think other people are like that as well. They can see the formula.
Yeah.
It's boring. You know?
I think generally people are
Tedious.
stupid.
Yeah, of course I know. Of course I know. You know.
No, people can smell bullshit, definitely.
Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite city to play? I mean, probably one of the benefits of being in a band of your stature is you get to go around all over the place. Is there any places you really like coming back to?
Cities. I've got to say, Rio de Janeiro is pretty amazing. Like the crowds in Brazil are just mental, like really, really mental. Where was it played? There was a riot. Was that Rio?
In Rio.
Was that Rio? Or where the barrio went down?
Oh right, no, it wasn't. It was the time after that in Rio. Yeah, right. I obviously don't remember the name of the venue, but
yeah, second song in, like the crowd just rushed the barrier. I mean, it was kind of a wee bit scary, but it had such an intense atmosphere. I like coming to Vancouver as well. I spent 2.5 months here 2 years ago with the Cribs, recording at the Warehouse Studio.
Sweet.
So, you know, I got to know Vancouver a little bit then, and you know, there's people I know here, and it's a cool place to hang out, and yeah.
You guys played with Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah, that's right. That was our last gig here, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah. That was the last time we were here. Yeah.
So no, it's and also it's an incredibly beautiful city. In fact, it's when you're talking about Vancouver and Rio together, they've both got this sort of urban setting with a kind of natural backdrop which looks almost artificial. You can't believe it. You know, when you fly inside the city and you see in Rio, you see those mountains and the coastline, and here if you walk down the hill and you see the mountains in the background of the bay, it's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, nice place. Rains a bit, but it's nice.
Glasgow as well, you know, yeah. And Rio. Oh no, that's not.
You guys do most of your work? Do you do most of your writing in Glasgow?
Yeah, we did. You know, it was recorded in Glasgow, and Glasgow's our home, and we kind of got ourselves an old town hall and turned it into a studio, and we recorded and wrote and developed the sound.